The depth of the experience.
The artistic quality as well. You have a lot of self-expression. A lot of other dances, you have elements of that, but tango gives it in all sorts of ways. Emotional, conceptual, movement-wise.
I started dancing a number of years ago, and I was a ballroom teacher before that. And I went out to a milonga, and I saw Argentine Tango in the flesh for the first time. I'm like, oh my gosh, what is this? So a few weeks later, I quit my ballroom job and moved to Buenos Aires for 2 months to pursue it. So at that point, I had already been deeply invested in dance.
I don't know if you've ever had these like moments in your life where you have these fantastic conversations, or like you're just kind of let everything go and you really connect with someone. It's obviously the same thing in tango, but that takes a psychological and mental state to get there, and kind of an emotional presence and security.
So I started with ballet when I was 3, more or less, and did a lot of other dances, jazz, African, things like that, hip hop, but then found ballroom, was trained as a professional ballroom instructor, and then met him teaching West Coast Swing, and he was teaching salsa, and then we ended up doing tango together.
You know, leaders, it's not an affront to your masculinity to say, is there anything that I can do differently, or how does this feel for you, or what is your perception of reality in this situation? Because there have been times when I go, man, this song is so sad and depressing, and she goes, I really enjoy it, and I'm uplifted, and I'm really happy with this song. And it was before a performance, and I'm really glad we talked about that. It would have been really strange otherwise.
Our teaching philosophy, a lot of it centers around being positive as much as you can. So it's really easy to fall down into that. Like,
that's wrong.
That
that's
was
wrong.
bad.
That's bad.
I feel bad.
That's terrible.
Like, negativity. And so it's like, when you're building your partnership as well, just being like, what could we do better? Or what can I do better for you? Like those kinds of statements where you build a positive learning environment too is so important. Otherwise, you're not going to look forward to going to class.
Right.
You're not going to want to do tango anymore. So. And that's huge.
And it really sets the tone for, this is a long time journey pursuit. It's like we get the experience of always improving, and that's so...
Well, we try to plan to dance when we're 80. We want it to be always growing. And yeah, positivity, I would say.
Positive, yeah.
Don't give up.
Yeah.
That's the saying that we have with our students, is like, no matter what, it's gonna take a while, and you know, different styles, different teachers, different whatever, like you'll have ups and downs, but just don't give up.
I'm still emotionally present, and even if I'm like falling through this, I'm still here. I'm not like, everything's over, and then, because then that's when you lose your emotional presence. And I often hear this from a lot of women / followers or / the others. But, you know, I just don't feel like I'm dancing. I just feel like I'm just like, a lot of women become leaders because of this.
We often see a lot of times when people stop learning, and for us that's kind of a giving up in a different kind of way. And we apply that to ourselves as well. Like, we're always training to get better. And when I first started, I was very excitable, like everything is awesome and great, and that's really good energy, but it's also extremely tiring. And so what I do now is I'm a lot more measured in where I place that excitement for the most effect. So I think I still just get the same amount of excitement. It's just channeled.
I try and challenge myself a lot more. Like, go outside my comfort zone as a teacher, because it's really easy, like, once you've taught a lot of beginning classes, to sort of be like, okay, let's do the same thing we've done forever. And it's like, everyone learns so differently that it's really helpful to be like, okay, well, what didn't work, and how can I make it better, and who do I want to appeal to that I let fall through the cracks last time?
Yeah.
But if you kind of talk to someone like this, what is this saying? Or you might be cold, yeah, but probably here the room's pretty warm, so you're probably not willing to listen. And if you're standing like this, what does this say?
We really have what we call the tango family.
Yeah.
Of like people we see all the time. They come over to our house, and you know, it's about learning and building community, and just really it has changed everything. I mean, I don't see friends that don't do tango nearly as much as I did before. It's just becomes all-encompassing in a good way.
And it's helped our families, too.
Yeah.
I know both my mom and my dad have gotten into it. My dad really is into it, and it's really been a fantastic way for him to stay active and mentally engaged in a lot of things and do a lot of social stuff. And I know your mom is doing it as well.
I try and drag my mom out as much as possible.
And her mom's a great singer, and it's really been awesome for her to apply her singing skills through posture and all that to tango.
Oh, I really loved Verde de Mar. And then I was all about like Maria. But the problem with that is then I listened to it too much.
My favorite song is Tormenta by the Desarli, the really big version of it.
Yeah.
And then so I try never to listen to it.
We are blessed enough to have quite a few students that are really into music. And so we've let them kind of run with that and try to encourage it and be like, hey, can you find good music for our practica, or can you help us find a good song for a demo? And so they've been doing amazing work with really traditional music.
Yeah.
I also have a student who challenged me to get into alternative music because he was drawn towards that, and I was like, okay, well, I want to work with you. I want to figure out how to work with what you're interested in. So that's opened up a whole other horizon for us, and we sort of started playing alternative sets once in a while in the practica, just to sort of include everyone and whatever your interests are. I would say take your time. Of course, I mean, you see this with everyone. There's like an ebb and flow of like getting really excited and then taking a million lessons, having no idea like filter or critical thinking skills in your dance, like in terms of what you want to add and what you don't want to add to your dance and stuff like that. So just take your time. I would also encourage them to like work with one teacher for a while. It doesn't matter who it is, but sort of stick with the system and get that under your belt so that you have some context.
And I'd also say show up.
Yeah. Just, as we said before, don't give up is the big one.
It can be really daunting, especially for beginners, to go, I will never be able to do that.
Yeah.
But we have seen time and time again, people, they don't even have to be that good in the beginning. So they show up and they keep showing up. They will get better, and then they will be good. It's the people who are like, stop.
Perseverance.
Perseverance. Perseverance. That's, show up, perseverance.
We really want you to lead and follow, or not lead and follow, how about be aware of and interact with your partner's voices.
The Bay Area is a great place to be dancing. That's where we're from, because there are a lot of different styles. There's a lot of teachers. There's a lot of students. So there's just massive amounts of tango going on. And I think it's good because you get exposure, and then you can try different things, see what you like.
Tango is an art, and fortunately it's not like this dictated art. It has this almost impenetrable spirit of do it your own way. And it's interesting to see that mingle with forces like competition, which is, we're judging you and based on a criteria, and this is kind of what it should look like, and seeing that mingle with other forces in the community, and for better or worse, it's fascinating to watch. And I think while people will always have opinions of what is good or bad, I don't think change in an art is ever a bad thing. It's stagnation that's the thing you should be afraid of.
Oh, and it's so participatory that I think it'll never do that.
Yeah.
Be emotional and make your partner recognize you are there.
It's really complicated.
well, maybe our perception of what a lead is changing.
Yeah. We work on a class at UC Berkeley, and so we get a lot of student opinions and talk about these sorts of things. And we've noticed people have issue with the vocabulary. Like you're kind of, all of the vocabulary is really hard because lead and follow, has so many connotations. exactly, but also men and women, if you use that term, you know, there's lots of gender
Like if you say this is a woman's role, it's like you have to be very careful. Or this is a man's role. It's
so the vocabulary is problematic.
Yeah, very problematic.
But we always say that everything's 50-50. So that, I guess if that's what you mean by a shared lead, then yeah, I think it is going in that direction of just kind of us all getting on the same page of that and getting the lingo of lead follow and all the stigma that comes with that out the door, because it's time.
I will tell you what to do, and you will follow me.
No. Changed everything.
Giving me her.
Yeah.
It's made my life better than I thought it ever would be, I think.
They're from Berkeley, by the way.